Welcome to Gypsum Express and the Flatbed Coil Securement Training video. In this course you'll learn basic information about coil securement and the techniques for securing the coils that you may be hauling every single day. Specifically, this course will provide you with basic understanding of the pertinent cargo securement definitions and requirements. It'll reinforce your safety responsibilities when you're securing your cargo. It will also illustrate the benefits of safe and proper cargo securement for you, your customers, the general public, and your company. It will educate you on the consequences of poor and improper load securement, such as cargo damage, incidents, and injury. And it will also train you in the proper cargo securement techniques. The training you're about to take on flatbed cargo securement is important because it relates to both customer service and safety. A CB radio is used to notify you when to approach the scales or your dock assignment. As you approach the scales, you will immediately realize safety is number one. There are several occasions when warning signs and/or safety reminder signs are posted. Your complete compliance with these signs and instructions is required at all times. Prior to entering the scales, come to a complete stop. Allow any vehicle in front of you to completely clear the scales prior to you pulling onto them.
Morning.
Good morning. Your load number?
H3044.
Trailer number?
7253.
Okay, your load is ready. Do you know where you're going?
Yes, I do.
You do. Do you have safety glasses, hard hat, and a chin strap? Okay, before you can go in, I need you to read through this. All of your safety rules are in there. Answer 1 through 15 on the front. There's 2 on the back. Fill out this information.
All of the above.
Yep, there's no cans, no bottles, no butane lighters, no cameras. Can't take them out of your vehicle, can't drink out of them on Novelis property. Also, you can't have any rings, watches, or jewelry. If you do, they need to be covered with gloves.
Okay.
Okay? There's your scale ticket.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's review the safety rules. While operating on our customer's property, you must always wear your safety glasses, safety shoes, hard hat, chin strap, must have completed the written safety procedure test, have no cans, no bottles, no butane lighters, no cameras, rings, watches, or jewelry at any time. As a reminder, please obey the speed limit and traffic signs while operating on our customer's property. Prior to entering the loading dock area, you must have all of your personal protective equipment on. This includes a chin strap for your hard hat. Once you've received your dock assignment, get out and look behind you prior to backing in. The loading area is very active with a lot of individuals that may be walking around. Also make sure there are no obstacles in your intended backing lane. After bumping the dock, allow your trailer to roll forward approximately 6 inches. This allows for the trailer to flex and settle once the coils are put onto the trailer. For your protection and safety, fall protection rails are required. You're watching our driver show you the proper installation of these fall protection rails. These rails are required whenever you're on the deck of the trailer. Failure to utilize these rails may result in you being asked to leave the property and not receiving the shipment. The first step in preparing the coil rack is to place a rubber friction mat centered left to right on the trailer. Depending on the number of coils you'll be receiving, the location of the friction mat may vary. If in doubt, please ask the loader for a recommendation. Next, you'll place 2 coil racks on top of the friction mat. Depending on the configuration, the direction of the racks or position may vary. This shipment is being prepared for one referred to as a shotgun style. The racks need to be centered based on the center line of the trailer. Next is the placement of the dunnage. Here you notice the driver is placing a 4x4 as a spacer due to the smaller diameter of the coil to be loaded. After all the dunnage is in place, make sure it's centered as previously mentioned along the center line of the trailer. After you prepare the coil rack, your coil will soon be delivered to your trailer. During the time you're in the loading area, you must remain within the green and yellow designated walkway. Do not go outside this walkway without the permission of the loading dock supervisor. As you can see, the coils are lifted overhead. Please stay alert and within the designated walking area. During the actual loading process, drivers must stay off the trailer until the coil is a few inches from the coil rack. After making eye contact with the crane operator and the crane operator acknowledging the presence of the driver and the crane operator signaling to the driver to proceed, the driver may then approach to approximately 10 feet to place the coil. Notify the crane operator before you approach closer to 10 feet using the above procedure. Make sure the operator can see you at all times. If the operator cannot see you, then you will not be loaded. Once the coil has been placed onto the coil rack, the coil must not come into contact with the floor of the trailer. A coil that is secured properly is one that will not roll or move during transit. This means enough securement devices such as chains and or straps must be used to meet or exceed the federal regulations. It's a position of our company to use a minimum of a total of 5 securement devices per coil to be considered adequately secured. The coil you see being secured here is not considered a finished product. Therefore, as the chains are being put into place, the risk of damaging this coil is limited. You will see other coils in this video that are extremely delicate due to the coil being a finished product. This will be discussed later. The next step is the placement of edge protectors. As you can see, the chain is run through the clip of the edge protector. This helps to keep the edge protector from falling off during the installation process. Once the edge protectors are installed, the tightening of the chains takes place. As you can see, this step demands physical energy from you. This is a task that could result in an injury to you if you're not careful. Make sure you have good footing to avoid slipping. Also use your legs as much as possible, not your back, to tighten the snap binders. 3 rubber strips are now placed over the coil. These will protect the straps from the sharp edges. As a safety precaution, you can see the driver is checking with the driver in the next bay prior to tossing his straps over the coil. This helps prevent an injury to an unsuspecting person. You can also see at this point the fall protection rail has been removed during the installation of the straps. This is allowed because the driver is not on the deck of the trailer at this point. Once the straps are put into place, snug them up hand tight for now prior to going back onto the deck of the trailer. This will help you adjust the position of the straps over the rubber strips. Prior to going back onto the deck of the trailer, remember that you are required to reinstall the fall protection rail. Your next step is to reposition the rubber strips under the straps in a way to protect the strap from the sharp edges of the coil. These straps can get damaged very easily. Be careful as you're working near the edge of the trailer. Once the straps are installed properly, return to the loading dock floor and complete the securement process by tightening all 3 straps securely. This shipment was put onto a roll-tight trailer, so no manual tarping is required. The tarping process will be demonstrated later in this video. When you arrive at the cold mill, report immediately to the shipping office. You'll be required to have your personal protective equipment on at all times while inside the loading dock area. Drivers are allowed in the area at the edge of the docks, providing they stay within the green marked walkway. Once you've made sure your trailer is free of any debris, you may be approached by the crane operator. At this time, a brief review of safety procedures may take place. Additionally, a discussion of the hand signals that you will need to use will be clarified. It is imperative that you understand your responsibilities at this point. You will assist the crane operator with the proper placement location of the coil. Any questions should be addressed at this time with the crane operator. Some of the trailers are marked with a decal to indicate the center of the trailer in the event of your shipment being only a single coil. A general reference other than this decal would be the center light on the side of the trailer. A coil being loaded in the eye-to-the-sky configuration will be loaded on a pallet and placed onto your trailer by an overhead crane from the side of your trailer. This requires only one side of your trailer at this point, having the fall protection rail in place to allow for the crane. While you're on the deck of the trailer at this point, be extremely cautious and stay clear of the edge of the trailer. While the coil is being put into place, stay a minimum of 10 feet away from it. Notify the crane operator before you approach closer than 10 feet. If the crane operator cannot see you, you will not be loaded. During the loading process, you will be expected to assist the crane operator by the use of hand signals where you want the coil positioned. Make sure you remain visible to that crane operator during this period of time. Once your coils have been put into place, you must install the fall protection rails. You are not allowed to work on securing your coils without these rails in place. Prior to going back onto the deck of the trailer, prepare the straps from the ground level. The next step will require you to place the straps over the top of the coil. As you're doing this, take extreme care in preventing the buckle on the end of the strap from hitting the coil. These coils are very fragile, and the slightest contact with the buckle can cause a consignee to not accept the coil due to damages. Edge protection is critical when dealing with coils. The slightest damage can cause unwelcome results. The use of thick cardboard and felt pads are the required items to use to assure adequate protection. Once all of the straps have been placed over the top of the coil, they should be placed so they all cross at a common point over the center of the coil. This assures equal and balanced distribution of downforce created from the straps once tightened. The straps should also be positioned so that from the top of the coil to the securement point on the trailer, the angles of the straps are equal to each other. This also assures equal and balanced distribution of downforce created from the straps once they're tightened. Next, we're going to cover tarping procedures. The first photo shows properly tarped coils, and the second photo a poorly tarped coil. Here is a photo of two coils that were loaded eye to the sky that have been tarped properly. Notice only one tarp was necessary because both coils were placed close to each other. This reduces the chance of water getting onto the coils. The tarp has been evenly placed over the coils and pulled tight with bungee straps. This reduces the amount of flapping the tarp may develop while in transit. Additionally, you can see that the unused tarp was secured in front of the coils. When a load has been tarped this well, it reflects on the professionalism of our company in a very positive way. Here is the second photo. As you can see, the tarp is very loose and not evenly placed over the coils. This poor job will allow the tarp to flap in the wind, and this will also allow water to get under the tarp and cause damage to the coil. This poor quality of tarping is unacceptable. You must take the time to assure your tarp is placed properly to protect our customer's product. Here is a brief demonstration clip of a tarp being put on. Whenever possible, ask for help during this process. The tarps are heavy and may be difficult to handle by yourself. Once the tarp is placed on top of the coil, unroll it and allow the excess to fall onto the trailer deck. Then you'll open the tarp and start to pull it into place to assure the entire coil is covered and the tarp is evenly centered. Extreme care must be taken to make sure you don't trip onto bungee cords or tarp as you place it into position. As you will see, the tarping process is best completed with the assistance of another driver. Make sure the tarp is centered over the coil, and it's recommended that the flap of the tarp be placed on the forward side of the coil. This allows for neatly secured folds and adequate protection of the coil. Remember, coils that are properly secured and tarp benefit everyone involved. Our customer's property is loaded, secured, transported, and delivered safely and damage-free. As a professional driver, please do your part to handle coils properly. In closing, as a reminder, you're required by federal law to inspect the securement of your load within the first 50 miles of your trip. Subsequent inspections are required every 150 miles or 3 hours, whichever comes first. During your cargo check inspections, make sure you verify the straps and/or chains are still tight. More often than not, securement devices will loosen up within the first 50 miles. Please drive safely and professionally.